Yeah.
Hi. Hello, Deb. Hey, Jen.
Hey,
Hey, John. Hey, Angie.
speaker, everybody. Hey, Jen, thanks for letting me do that video yesterday. That was so cool.
Sure, you guys did a great job. Those of you that submitted the videos for PBS, they came up really terrific.
So what is this supposed to be about?
I'm sorry I didn't do it.
That's okay. It was optional. So it was just an opportunity that came along. I'm going to keep sending you opportunities as I get them.
Okay.
And it was a really quick turnaround too. So I understand that completely.
So what's this about that you're doing?
Do you know when the sports are going to start up again?
I'm not sure. I was just telling you, might not have been on yet, but we were talking about the fall sports season, and there's
the holiday sports and the winter game.
Winter games. Well, we don't know about them yet.
Right.
No.
I am thinking about doing that in September because like
summer game.
So it's like if you would want to train before the winter games, it's like practice with your poles before
Before
that.
Even though we don't have snow, you can still practice with your poles.
Yes.
So Deb, can you tell me more about this thing they're doing Sunday? I'm a little interested to see what's going on with that.
What's Sunday?
The PBS
oh yeah,
thing?
Okay. So they were collecting these videos and they're going to put something together with the videos that you guys did for, it's the 30th anniversary of the passage of the People with Disabilities Act. So they have a website. I'll send you the video. They're kind of putting it all together for us. They were really excited that so many athletes participated. So I'll have more information for you, Allie. And I'll have the link to what they finally put together, like the finished piece.
Because when I told some of my friends about it the other day, they want to know the time and when it's supposed to be on and all that.
It'll be online, so it'll be a link that we can share and you can forward to your friends.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be actually on the TV itself.
Yep, I can totally
understand. Do you know when the coaches meeting will come back?
Yep.
Sounds cool.
What was that, Jake?
Do you know when the coaches meeting will come back?
I don't know. I haven't heard about the coaches meeting yet, but I know the sports team has been meeting to kind of go over some stuff. So I just noticed that our guest speaker is here. So I'm going to ask Alex, our wonderful intern, to take some pictures for us and to take attendance, and that'd be lovely. And Jennifer, are you there?
I'm here. I'm just turning on the video. I'm getting ready to go.
I'm there. Jennifer.
I'm glad to be here. I'm sorry, it's a little dark where, oh, that's not too bad. Okay, a little better. It's very bright behind me and I'm trying to work on the lighting here, but I think we're good. So hello. I hope everybody's staying cool today.
I am.
So, okay.
It's a location for me for this time. I'm in my sunroom.
So you have the light behind you too. I have a lot of sun behind me too. So I hope everybody can see me okay and hear me okay.
I can't. I only got certain squares.
You could probably go to the next page. So I'll ask you guys to kind of keep quiet and let Jennifer do her presentation, and then we'll open it up for questions and answers at the end. Okay, sound good?
Okay.
Okay.
Take it away, Jennifer.
Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out, I don't see my share. Did you set it up so I can share? Oh, share screen.
I made you a host.
Yes, you did. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to take some time and I'm going to walk you through what I think a good elevator speech is. So I'll give you a little bit about my background and you'll see my PowerPoint slides. And I know you'll have lots of questions, so we'll be chatting in a couple minutes. If you're going to hold your questions to the end, that's great. If you have one in the middle, that's fine too. Okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to pull up my my speech share and we're going to start.
Now I can see you.
Oh, perfect. Okay, here we go. It looks like someone's in the waiting room, so I'm going to let them in. Okay.
All
right. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about something I talk about with my students all the time and I talk with my clients about. It's how to create a 30-second memorable elevator speech to share specifically for you, your Special Olympics Connecticut story. Okay. So I'm going to explain what an elevator speech is. I'm going to walk you through it and I have a beautiful, wonderful template. But before we get there, what I'd like to do, and I don't know why I'm frozen here. Let me just Let me pop out of that for 1 second. Oh, I don't know why I'm frozen. This is weird. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm going to pop back here. Here we go. What do you need to know about me? You know a little bit about me from what was sent via the email, but I own my own PR company. It's called Magas Media Consultants. And what I do is I specialize in media relations, professional writing, and media training. What that means is I have a whole bunch of businesses that I help to put in the news. I help to promote their business, their product, or their service. So it's all about public relations and reaching out to other people and developing relationships. So that's kind of what I do on a daily basis. I've been doing this for 24 years. I don't want to date myself. That sounds like a long time. But I've been doing that for a long time. And some of the other things I've done is, Debbie had mentioned that I'm a college professor. I also worked as a reporter, a recruiter, a technical writer. So a lot of things with communication. I've been a trainer for a company, and I've been a nonprofit volunteer because I've been working with Special Olympics for, I can't believe it's 10 years now. I've also, I say I'm a recovering attorney. So I'm also a lawyer, and I did employment law, and I've worked in corporate, have a lot of experience in corporate, so big businesses, and I work with media outlets, and I work with the universities. I also talk about writing, workplace, and PR topics, and I've been quoted in lots of articles. So if you want to look more at my bio, you have a link there, and I know that Deb was kind enough to share is going to share the presentation with all of you at the end. You'll see some of the articles that I was featured in if you look at the screen right there. And there's a picture of me at one of the penguin plunges. So one of the plunges.
Cool.
And you could see that. And can you tell that I'm cheating? Does anybody notice what I'm wearing?
Oh, yes.
I completely cheated. Everybody else went in their bathing suits, and I have my coat and my boots and everything else. So you can all get on me about that later, how I cheated. But I did my best. I'm always really cold. I don't know how you guys are, but I'm always really freezing. So that's my picture, and I ended up in the news. I didn't want to end up in the news. I wanted other people, but we got this cool picture. So there you go. All right, let's talk about what an elevator speech is. Okay, first, I'm going to kind of give you two scenarios, two examples of where an elevator speech works, and then I'm going to explain more about the elevator speech. So I know you do a lot of public speaking, and I know you do this at a lot of events. So here's my first example. I said you're at a Special Olympics event. The director of a local program realizes that she recognizes you. She says, I was curious. Tell me what your role is with Special Olympics Connecticut again. I can't remember. Are you ready to do that on the spot? I think some of you are, but let's talk a little bit more. Here's another example. You've been asked to speak at a Special Olympics event. There are reporters, the TV's there, from local TV stations are there. And as the camera starts rolling, one asks you and says, can you tell us who you are and what your role is with Special Olympics Connecticut? So in 30 seconds or less, how do you respond? And that's what we're going to talk about today, because I'm sure you're in situations like this, and I'm sure you have some things that you could say. And what I'm going to do is give you a template or a format to kind of help you so that you could practice it when you're at these events and you already know what you should say and how you should say it. Okay. So let's take a look. What's the elevator speech? And I talk to my students about this all the time. In your case, representing Special Olympics, you're going to provide an overview of who you are, what you do, and how you help Special Olympics Connecticut, okay? And what you're gonna do is you're gonna summarize your past experiences. Can't do all of it, but maybe one or two experiences, but what you've done before, okay? How long you've been in this role. You can mention how many events you've attended or participated in, okay? And I'll give you examples. I'll give you my own elevator speech as we walk through this presentation. You can also give, depending on how much time you have, but a lot of times you could give an example or a short story of how Special Olympics has positively impacted your life, and maybe even the lives of other people around you, maybe your family members, maybe friends, maybe of a fellow athlete, and we'll talk about that, okay? The idea is to gain someone's interest. So if you're talking to a reporter, if you're talking to a crowd of people, that you would do this in a 30-second time span. Because think about it, we all have short attention spans, right? So this is the idea here of gaining someone's interest, and you got a good story to tell, okay? So at the end of the day, your goal is to get people excited about how Special Olympics has impacted your life and the lives of others. So how do we make it interesting and exciting, and you feel good about what you're saying and other people are interested in hearing more? Okay. So here's how you do this. The first thing is we have to figure out what's your goal. Okay. So we kind of started to say that already, but your goal is to introduce yourself and to share your positive experiences with Special Olympics and why it's a great organization, because we're all excited about Special Olympics. So how do we get people excited? And then you target your audience. So is it a crowd of people that you're talking to? Is it a reporter who you know they're going to put you on the newscast that night? What do we want? So what do they want to know? And where are they going to share your story? And that's why I said, I mentioned the newscast. And then you can explain what you do. What's your role? What do you do? I always like to say to my students, illustrate your story with metrics. What does that mean? Metrics are kind of numbers or examples of things. So how long have you been involved? How long have you, been involved with Special Olympics? How long have you been a global messenger? How many events have you gone to? Have you helped raise money? If you did, how much? And I have to tell you right now, this is hilarious. My camera's moving because my cat is moving the camera.
Oh.
Let's see. I don't know if he may come around.
Cute.
Yeah. He's actually, oh my gosh, he's actually sniffing the computer. That was hilarious. I made sure all my kids were gone. My husband's gone and the cat is now wandering around. This is funny. Okay. So the last thing is you end with a call to action. Whenever you give a speech, the idea is, what do you want people to do with this message? Do you want them to feel good? Do you want them to donate money? Do you want them to come to the event? Do you want them to, what is it that you want them to do? And we're going to talk more about that call to action. But I want you to think about that, because every time you get up to talk to people, you always have an opportunity to then ask them to do something. Okay? All right. Now, let's see if I can do this. This is my elevator speech. I think I'm ready. And you can see some of the photos right here. Here I am again in my
Oh, I love that.
I'm coming off the water, but this is the plunge at the park that I helped to run and for the past 10 years. And this is, in Monroe, Connecticut. And you can see here's a bunch of pictures of me. There's me running out of the water. And then there's my family. My kids are really little. They're much bigger now. They're 12 and 14. That's when they were little. But then there's me with a friend of mine who dresses up in a penguin suit, and there I am running with the kids. So this is the idea of stories. There are stories behind this, right? And I started to tell you some of those stories. But here's mine, and I wonder if I can. Some of it's a little. I may stumble a little bit because I have the. I wonder if I could bring these down a second. Yeah, I can. Wait a minute. There we go. So I can see this. Okay. So I said, hello, my name is Jennifer Magas. You want to start out with your name, right? I'm a Special Olympics Connecticut volunteer for the Plunge at the Park in Monroe, Connecticut. I have volunteered for the past 10 years. There's my metric, right there, in a public relations role to develop and execute. So I help develop this plan and execute, meaning I run it, a localized media relations plan for the Plunge each year. I have written press releases, pitches, ads, social media posts, and I've created videos to earn sponsorship because I was trying to get businesses to help and attention from local media outlets to get everybody on the news, local civic groups, donors, and I helped the Plunge raise over $150,000 to date. So that was over 10 years. Last year, 110 brave and loyal penguins dove into the waters of Great Hollow Lake, raised approximately $56,000. That's amazing. Highest to date. If you would like to volunteer or donate to this year's Plunge, see, here's my call to action. Check out our Connecticut Facebook page, our Twitter page at CT Polar Plunge, and Instagram at CT Penguin Plunge. And then I say thank you. And of course, if I'm doing that, I'm going to smile. I'm going to put my big smile there. Okay.
I'm so sorry. Can I excuse you for a minute? I think there's some people in the waiting room trying to get in. I'm getting some messages, and I don't know how to do that because I made you.
See if I can get them in because it was saying I'm going to say admit all.
Okay. Yes. Please.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep. So I was able to do it. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So I let him in. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to bring this back. There we go. I can at least see myself there, and I'm going to put everybody else here. The pictures. Oh, yeah. There we go. Okay. hi for those of you who just joined us. And I see one more person I'm going to admit right now too. Okay, so that's my sample elevator speech, and we can go back to this, but I want to show you, and I'm freezing again. Let's try it this way. There we go. I don't know why. There we go. Okay, so here's the 30-second elevator speech template. Okay, so I say here, hello, my name is, and then you would fill in the blank. Okay, that's what you would do right there. And I am a blank. You would put in your title, okay, with Special Olympics. So insert your name, what's your title if you're a global messenger. I have blank. So what have you done? So have you, come to events? Have you represented Special Olympics at events? Have you spoken before events? What is it that you've done? Okay, and you can say for how long that you've done it. So I said before, and then the amount of time, and you can even say to help with. What did you help with? You can always put that in there as well. I always like to put in why you like being part of the organization. And I put in, I love being a part of this organization because, and this is where you can tell that story, that really good story. Example of how it's positively impacted your life. What does Special Olympics mean to you? And this is where you can say that right there, okay? And then last, you can say, if you would like to volunteer or donate to support our athletes, please contact, and you can put the contact information. That's your call to action. So it doesn't have to be to volunteer, to donate. And maybe come down to our event today and, see the activities, watch us compete today. It could be something like that as well, okay? So you have different, things that you can plug in. Each of you has something different to say, but I thought it was good to give you a template so that you kind of hit the key things, okay? So when I do the same thing with my students, so I know that Deb is going to send this out to everybody if she hasn't already, so you'll have this that you can actually, print it out and you can write out some of these things. And they don't have to be exact, you can move it around a little bit as well, okay? All right, so I say here, end with a call to action. The idea is to make yourself memorable. So this is where, I said to you, do you want people to donate? But you explain what you want people to do, what you want to happen next. So ending on this note, you could always say, come join us at the event, this Sunday at 1 p.m. If you want to donate, please contact, and you memorize that contact information. If you want to volunteer, please contact. And Deb, I'm sure you can think of other things that you ask people to say as well. But the idea is to really, if you're up there and you have this opportunity to speak and you have this platform, well then heck, use that so that you get people excited and involved. That's what we really want to do. So I always say, make sure you end your call to action with a smile and sound upbeat, that you're excited about this, you're excited to be in this position and to be part of this organization. Okay, so that's my tip, make sure you're smiling. It's hard sometimes because we get nervous when we have to talk in front of people, right? Do you guys get nervous?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like that yesterday a little bit when I did my video for Debbie.
Yeah, same here.
Especially, I find that right before I get nervous, and and you got to take that deep breath, right?
I usually get jittery sometimes.
Yeah, no, I do too, especially when you have to get up in front of a lot of people. So the idea is take that deep breath and practice, just smile. When you smile, people can, even if you couldn't see me right now, if I was just talking, you would feel me smiling and that I'm excited to talk about this. And that's what you really want to do, okay? So the real secret to having an elevator speech.
Oh gosh.
Have that elevator speech. I probably see somebody you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the idea is there is no secret to having the elevator pitch except having one. So if you print this out, and I say here, you never know when you're going to have to share your positive experiences of Special Olympics Connecticut. So if you practice the key things that you know you need to say, you won't say to yourself later, oh, I forgot to say that. Oh, I wish I said that. Because you'll have the key things. And then, the reporter may ask you another question. Maybe when you're talking, you have more time that you can elaborate on a story. But if you have your key things, you'll feel good about what you said and the impact that you've made on your audience. So this is where I say, use this 30-second template, and then you have it, before you get up to speak, you have this printout so that you're ready to go and you know the key things. And it doesn't always have to be perfect, but you have the key things in your mind when you get up there. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that way you feel good. And I think it takes away, where I heard, I get jittery. We all get jittery, but if you know and you practice, you practice again and again what you're going to say, you feel a lot better. I always do that too. I always have a script that I write out whenever I speak in front of an audience, and I practice it several times. And then when I'm ready, I just, kind of put it aside, or sometimes I may have it in front of me, depending on how long it is. Sometimes I have to do a whole event, but it really helps. And at least I feel prepared. I don't, wonder, okay, what should I say? I already know what I'm going to say. Okay. So that's the real secret. And then you have my contact information. So you guys, if you ever have questions, you can reach out to me. That's my email address at Pace University where I teach. So you can always reach out to me there. And then you have my business phone there as well. And I see another person that I'm going to admit right now. So I'm going to pop out of this for a second and see what questions you guys have. If it's going to let me do that. I'll just stop sharing the screen right now. All right, there we go. What did you think? What questions do you have?
I got a question to ask. What is it like to do an elevator speech without trying to get too nervous? And then how much time you have to do it in 30 seconds?
Yeah. Now, 30 seconds is when you think of an elevator speech, if someone just gives you, when you think of a reporter who's doing a news story, a lot of times they're not going to give you a lot of airtime. So if you had all those key ideas in that short 30 seconds, that would be fantastic, because that short, succinct soundbite then would all make it onto the news. I don't want you to get nervous thinking you have to cram it all in there in 30 seconds, because a lot of times, and you've already done this, you've spoken in front of people, you have more time. Okay. So that
because when I used to do the penguin plunge, I used to go through the same events. I used to do it by VIA email to people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, you could be emailing people, you could be responding you could be speaking at a penguin plunge. A lot of times at our penguin plunges, we have, a videographer come around and ask questions. And how cool would that be that you're ready to answer these questions and say, this is why I'm part of Special Olympics. This is what it means to me. This is how it, it has helped me, my family, you're ready and you know what you want to say, because you already know, but sometimes we're not prepared. And I think that's the tough thing. And the getting nervous, that this takes away the nervousness, definitely.
I got a quick question though and everything else. So I know I did my my speech thing for PBS yesterday on video.
Yeah.
I know the person, she's shaking her head right now because I know she must have yeah, okay. Yeah, I did that yesterday, and I was a little nervous because my people at my house though, they were trying to help me with it though. They said I sound like a robot, but then the only thing with that is the way my voice elevates from a high pitch to a low pitch, because sometimes I get a little nervous now.
Yep.
How could I mostly, because I know sometimes when I did my last speech at the state games, because I was talking a little bit fast though and everything else, because I know it's mostly what is it, minutes or seconds or something like that? I don't know. I mean, what's a good thing to do? When I do a speech like that, should I mostly speed it up a little bit? Should I mostly just slow it down? Should I mostly make it funny or something like that? I mean,
here's the real answer, and I'll tell you this, and I say this all the time. Whenever I do a presentation, I never tell a joke. I'm one of those people that if I have to tell a joke, I don't remember a punchline. It's never funny, I'm horrible. I have to write down the answer or the punchline to the joke. I'm terrible. I'm really, really bad. So in a presentation, or a speech, I'll never tell a joke, but I will tell a story. And the reason I'm telling you this is, you're saying, should I talk fast? Should I talk slow? What should I do? You have to do you. I talk fast. I'm trying to slow myself down. But I'm a natural fast talker. I went out to California years ago and I had friends out there and they're like, Jen, slow down. And I'm like, I can't. And everybody kept saying to me, are you from New York? I'm like, yeah, I'm close to New York. I'm Connecticut. We talk fast. So you really have to do you and what you're comfortable with. Focus on the message. And, you know, as long as you're talking loudly enough and articulating, if you talk fast, you know, that's okay, unless you're really tripping over words. But most of us have a natural way of communicating. And I think you got to go with your gut. Focus more on your message, because I think you're even saying to yourself, well, I don't know, am I doing the right thing? Do you? Does that answer your question? That's what I say to people. Because if you try to be something you're not, like when I try to tell a joke, you know, it just falls flat. Everybody just, my students look at me like, what did she say? The pig fell in the mud, what was it?
What?
You know, it's just not funny, you know? And don't get caught up in the time frame, because again, you know, I've given speeches before or lectures, but whatever, where I'm recorded, and then, you know, if it's used for something later, they'll edit out the things that they don't want to use. In person, it's a little harder. Yeah, but that's why we practice, right? Okay.
Yep.
Do you ever feel like you kind of giggle in between your speeches, even though some things aren't that funny?
I have giggled before, and you know, sometimes weird things happen. You know, I don't know. I can't even think. Even my cat right now, I said, "Oh my God!" I had to do. I had to do. I was helping out a friend of mine who works for a book publishing company. They were doing an interview with me, and it was supposed to be very serious, and I was really supposed to be helping. And I was out on the deck. You can see, like, over here is my deck. And the only person that was out with me was my cat. Everybody else was away, and I figured, you know, the cat's sleeping is not going to be a problem. Well, in the middle of the interview, all of a sudden, you see the cat climbing up the screen behind.
Oh, boy.
And I said, oh. You got to laugh, right? And it was supposed to be serious, but everybody else laughed too. So, you know what? Don't worry about a little laughing, you know. It's be yourself, and I think your message, you know, will shine through. And don't worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it. I giggle sometimes too at things. You can't help it, right? And sometimes when we get nervous, we giggle too, right?
That's why sometimes I try not to laugh when my dad tries to help me out. I know it's hard sometimes, but I try.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's hard too, like if if you're doing something online and you have to talk and someone's kind of wandering around behind you, kind of takes your focus away and make you nervous, giggle, or,
right.
You know, especially like you said, like if your dad's trying to help you or if somebody's trying to help you, because then your focus isn't where it should be, and you need to kind of keep that focus. Yeah.
Sometimes when you're gonna do a event on like, Debbie Horn knows this, but I'm doing an event on September. Is it 4th, Debbie?
Yeah. Yes, it is, Matt.
It's September 4th, and it's at Mohegan Sun, and I'm gonna rappel down 34 floors.
Oh,
really? Oh, wow.
Yes.
Now, see, I'd be nervous about that. I wouldn't be nervous about speaking, but I would be nervous about that.
My hand sometimes gets and then a bunch of guys shake your hands out, and you will not be nervous anymore.
Yeah. And I mean, no, I get that too. Like, you know, when you're speaking or you're doing something that makes you nervous, my hands get a little sweaty. And I think that's a normal reaction. But what do you do? Like you said, like shake your hands off, you know, wipe it on your pants. What are you going to do? You know? But no, definitely. I think that's something that we all go through. Absolutely.
Yeah, like for me, it's like I'm in TA for the spinning one, and I give a 10-second to 15-second to think about my grandpa. My dad had passed away of lung cancer, and so it really helped me because I did a lot of this. I think Special Olympics. I do a lot of this stuff because of Special Olympics. Because Special Olympics is the main cause that we're all doing it. Because if we don't, we're all following organizations that everyone likes.
One time, I was doing a video thank you note, and I was doing it outside, and my neighbor's chicken started clucking. in the middle of my video. You know.
I remember that, Jen.
Yeah,
That wasn't there.
When I did, we had Duncan at the house, and his 9-year, he started like making noise with his little dog toy. And I was like, Duncan, no. And then on the couch, I was trying to do a speech. This 9-year, he decided to come all over me. I was like, Duncan, really? What am I, your toy?
Yeah, you don't know with animals, right? That's where I should have. See, here's my problem. I can't put the cat downstairs because the cat needs to get to his food. If not, he will throw himself against the door, and you'll hear boom, boom, boom. I have no choice. You know, I got to let the cat wander around. So luckily, I don't know. Oh, he's asleep now. Maybe before we were his. He looks really cute right now. So he's not going to. Hopefully, he won't go climb the screen. You know, and then you'll have.
As long as you don't have the cat mostly trying to like run towards you and try to play with you and everything else, so then that's a whole new different story.
Well, you never know. All of a sudden, he may show up. He has a little mouse that he likes, which he's been playing with the mouse since he was a kitten. So it doesn't even look like a mouse. It looks like a little orange lump. There's no like ears or tail or anything. He may also drop it on the computer in front of you guys. So.
What type of cat is it?
He is he's a mix. He's actually a hypoallergenic cat, but he's a mix between a Russian blue and a Bengal cat. So it's a gray cat with a lot of stripes and a white belly. He looks kind of like a gray tiger. Can you imagine?
Cute.
They're so cute. That's really cute.
Yeah,
I have a Siamese
What's him, male or female?
He is a male. His name is Loki, which means God of mischief. And he does. He gets in a lot of trouble.
Thank you.
So,
What's his name is Lucky?
L-O-K-I. So it's Norse for God of mischief, which means like getting in trouble and doing all naughty things. Yeah.
I think some people know Mickey.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's already 9 years old, guys.
Oh.
9 years old.
That's her dog, Jenna.
Look.
Okay. I was gonna say dog or cat. Oh wow. 9 years old.
Look, Mickey.
Cala, estás distrayendo a la. Estamos en medio de un.
He's he's a good dog sometimes. He likes guys, this is really funny. He always likes to chase the squirrels. Even when I'm in the window, like I have a tree in front of my window where I live in. And every time the squirrels go up and down the wires, Mickey starts barking at the squirrels.
No, that's not true. No,
it's not true.
Sometimes he does like a sound like this.
It's not barking.
No, but
It's whining.
But he's like saying, "Hey, give me the command,
Okay, Cala.
and I'll go chase the squirrels."
I gotta ask, what kind of dog is he?
Labrador Retriever.
Labrador Retriever.
Oh, I love that. Those are beautiful.
One second.
So, good evening. How are you?
Hi there.
So, my name is Asha Cole. I'm a
Everybody's so proud of and happy with their animals. Nice.
I'm a self-advocate coordinator from the West region, and I really enjoy your ideas about all about you, and also talking about Special Olympics. Do you have any ideas I could share for my meetings, because that's the sort of thing.
Sure. I mean, if you're talking about where you're, talking to other people, how long have you been speaking, at Special Olympics events? Have you participated in Special Olympics events? Did you take certain events? So how many? You can talk about that. Is there one that stands out in your mind where, you did something amazing, someone else did something amazing, something you want to share? Those are the types of stories or little, examples that you can embed in there because you guys have done some really cool things, and that's what people want to hear about.
Yeah,
Natasha participated in the World Games in Austria, so that might be something she includes in her
Deputy
elevation.
Participating in New Jersey.
Right, and Kimberly participated in the Special Olympics USA Games, so those were some really big accomplishments.
Seattle.
Talk about.
I haven't did anything like that yet, though. I'm still waiting for my big chance to go far and everything else. So I know some of you special. I know some of you global messengers went to Dubai last year, and I know some of you guys
Seattle.
went to
Seattle. To say that.
But who is that, Aaron? It could be something like at Summer Games where you achieved a personal best or you overcame a challenge. It doesn't have to mean participating in a World Games. It could be something that you did on your team that was a huge success, or
that's right.
even just being being a global messenger. I mean, you're one of a small group out of 13,000 athletes in Connecticut. There's only less than 60 global messengers, so that in itself is a big thing.
Yes, it is.
And I'm very proud of that, though, and everything.
I'm very proud of that.
I think you guys should all say that. If there's only, Deb, you said only 60?
Yep.
Yeah, I think you should definitely say that. I'm one of, only 60 global messengers out of, you said how many athletes again?
13,000 athletes.
13,000, that's a big deal.
Athletes and unified partners that participate in Special Olympics.
Excuse me, Jen. Do you remember your first elevator speech, and were you nervous with it?
Summer Games.
Oh, that's a really good question. My first elevator speech wasn't for Special Olympics. It was actually to get my first job. So a lot of times people used to get jobs. And was I nervous? Yes, I was really nervous. But I actually hit it really well. But I'll tell you one thing. It was the first time I really used my elevator speech. I did work for Harvard Law School's Tenant Advocacy Project. And that helped me get into public housing. But I was nervous because it was Harvard, right? Wouldn't you get nervous?
Absolutely.
So when I interviewed, I didn't have the sweaty palms. I had sweaty armpits. It was horrible. And I had a dress that you could see a little bit. I wasn't wearing a black dress. And after that, one of the things I realized, and this is a good point, wear an outfit that if you're sweating, you can't see it. So, like I'm wearing black today, or I wear navy blue. If I sweat, you can't see it. So I'm glad you said that, because it makes me think of whenever I talk in front of people, I never wear really light colored clothing, because after that interview, I got the job, but apparently they like sweaty people. That's where, yes, I was nervous. You didn't hear it in my speech, but the sweating gave it away.
That's how I first felt when I started my new job recently. Nervous, I didn't know what to say or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's where, again, I always go back to, whenever you're new anywhere, you're going to be nervous. So it's okay to ask questions. It's okay, but be yourself, be friendly. I know you guys are all friendly with everybody. And just, that it will come to a point where you're not nervous anymore, that you'll feel really comfortable doing it. But recognize everybody goes through it. And especially think of when you get up to talk to people, realize that, think of how long people are.
So now Ed likes
attention spans.
Video.
Yeah, sometimes when you like to do it better or like when you're talking, you don't want to stutter or mess up a word up, because they might not understand you that well.
Yeah, that's, so if you have to go slower, go slower, go at your own pace. That's what I was trying to tell you guys. I talk really fast, and if I'm talking too fast, I might stumble over a word, and then I'll slow down. At least for me, I'll slow down.
Were you mentioning about mentioning about self-advocacy before?
Have I done it before for self-advocacy?
Well, because
I kind of fuzzed out a little bit.
Well, because I remember when you were mentioning that while you were talking to other people, that is what I am doing. So that means, because the Special Olympics is my focus area. So I'm actually finding ideas that sort of thing. What do you think on that?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, if you're talking about, I guess the way I'm understanding your question, in the beginning of your speech where you're talking to people, you should really explain who you are and what you do, and what you're trying to accomplish. I think that's the important thing, and you can also embed that in your call to action. But the main thing is to, again, if you're talking about, what it is you're trying to do, explain that and explain it in your own words. Does that help?
So it's more like speak out, like because I have been to Washington D.C. I was a global messenger. I was, and then I was a health leader, and I made this really good speech anyway, and I am advocating for my health, actually.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, no, I understand. Yeah, I mean, definitely, and that's where you want to give examples. You want to talk, when you get up in front of people and you're advocating, for health, if you're representing, Special Olympics, you definitely give examples. And, as you're saying, I've already been to I've spoken in Washington, D.C., I've spoken here. All of you can say that. You can talk, you can, put in your elevator speeches, I've been speaking at all these events, but you can give examples of the events. Just as we were saying, you could give examples of all the great things that you've accomplished. And that could be, like Deb said, your personal best. What did you do? Or, if you're particularly proud of, I gave this amazing speech in Washington, D.C., you can embed that and say, I talked about, and quickly explain what you talked about. You can absolutely do that. You can build upon all of the great things that you've done. And, I gave you the short little elevator speech of 30 seconds. You could do what I do with students is I have them do a 5-minute elevator speech and then edit it down to, 30 seconds. So they have longer elevator speeches that they can use when they need to with, all their examples in detail. But you start with the short elevator speech because that gives you a framework for what you want to say and how you want to say it. Okay.
My friend Mark Sadul and I used to do like elevator speeches at opening ceremonies where he used to speak one thing and then I used to like introduce teams and stuff. Is that a good example?
Yeah, that's perfect. At the beginning, if you're opening up an event, absolutely, because you want to explain who you are, what you do, and all the, the great things about, Special Olympics from your perspective, and then, get people excited about why they're there, right? So that's perfect. So these elevator speeches are perfect at the beginning of an event if you're asked to speak. And, I said you can use it in so many different places.
I see Ryan with his hand up, waiting patiently with a question.
Sure.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I just want to say something because I want to share something. I did something. I went to an event. I think it was Dream Ride last year, and guess what happened? I got home. I recognized my mom and me were there, and guess what happened? We were shown on Fox 61.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm talking about. So this is where, you're going to have those opportunities. So make the most of those opportunities, when you're on Fox 61, right? Were you excited to see yourself on Fox 61?
Yes. And one more question. You're going to love this one. I saw something from on social media, and it was the whole article from August 3rd of last year. With me on it, 2 pages.
Yeah, and that's the great thing. It's cool to see yourself in the media. I mean, that's what I do. I help to get my clients in the media. But when you see yourself, it's a whole different animal. It's really exciting when you see yourself there. So that's the idea. Really good elevator speeches, really good sound bites give all of you, the platform to do really great things for Special Olympics. And it's really cool to see yourself on social media and also, on the news. How cool is that, right?
And guess what happened to me after? Guess what happened to me after that? I got a letter from Chris Murphy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you got that recognition. How cool. That's really, really cool.
Yes.
Lucky duck. You're a lucky duck.
Yeah.
It's about quarter up. We've been on the call for about 45 minutes now, and I know we really appreciate Jennifer's time.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we could take one or two more questions, if that's okay with Jennifer, and then kind of wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Deb, I got a question to ask you.
Okay, we can do that one afterwards, Sally. I'll hang on for a little while.
Okay.
Okay, Carla, did you have a question?
Yes. I remember when I first started Special Olympics, I was a little bit nervous when I first started. But then I got when I did the first speech, I didn't know what to say. I was freaking out. But a friend of somebody from West Hartford, Ray, he helped me to so I didn't get so nervous.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, you know, if you feel nervous, reach out to somebody so they can kind of walk you through, because people will remind you. I mean, the big thing is I think all of us, when we get nervous, we kind of hold our breath. I know I do.
Yeah,
you know.
I was sweating in my feet.
Yeah, see? I mean, I was doing my armpits, you were doing your feet, you know, and that's where it's always good to reach out to somebody. And the elevator speech, again, will help you be prepared, but it's always good to reach out to somebody to remind you to take the deep breath, to kind of find your focus, you know, to kind of zone in and be ready so that you're ready to speak. We're all
You should always practice your speeches first so you know what you're going to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
To your target audience.
Again, so you know what to say, and then once you're there, you can like know what you're gonna say.
Once you're prepared, you feel so much better because you know you practice it over and over, and you have this, and it doesn't matter. Don't get nervous. Don't memorize it, because one of the things I used to have people do, you know, I would have students memorize their elevator speech, and what happens when you memorize? You always forget a line or something, right? So don't do that. Just keep practicing it so you have the ideas in your head, and you know those ideas will come out. It doesn't have to be perfect, and don't get hung up on that. Say, oh, I forgot to say that. You know, you may have an opportunity to say it later, but just get the key ideas down. Okay. I want to make sure you guys remember that, because don't memorize it, because you will forget it. Something will happen. A bird will fly overhead, something, you know, the cat will climb up the screen and you go, say something will happen. Okay. Or you'll get a fit of the giggles. But, you know, the idea is, okay. So no, that's going to happen.
Funny.
Right?
That's funny.
I see a hand up. Who else has a question? Is it Jake?
Yeah. When you go to the summer game to speak, do you think that you should hold your breath and then you should just like pay attention to the question, and then you could just like look at the person, like say if you go on WTNH and you read off the teleprompter, it doesn't mean that you have to like mumble. You just have to like read through, pay attention, and then think about what's going on in your brain.
Yeah, like that's exactly it. Keep your focus, you know, keep your focus and don't rush, you know, take your time. Teleprompters are hard. They are really hard until you get really, you know, yeah. Well, using them, you hopefully get a chance to practice first before using them, because it's not the normal way that we speak, you know. Which is a little harder sometimes, I think so, right? Yeah, especially when you watch the news, they've got it down, especially those anchor people who, you know, as they're reading, they take the pause at the right time, they breathe naturally, and then they have voice intonations at the time. As you guys practice your speeches, you're going to do the same thing, and you're going to get it down to where you feel comfortable and you don't hold your breath or get nervous or get sweaty. That only comes with time. Because we're digging. And yeah, it's the hard thing.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we have two more questions. I think Dan and Megan, and then I think we'll wrap it up. I think Chris might have had one too. Jennifer, would you mind taking three more and then we'll wrap it up?
And I had a question for you too later, Dad.
Okay, yep, I'll stay on a little while later too. Don't worry. Okay. Dan, why don't you go next, Dan?
Oh, thank you. I'm a public speaker and I give speeches. I do. You have to speak clearly in 4 sentences
and they will understand.
Yeah, I think that's, you're totally right, to speak clearly. And that's why I was saying, like, articulate. I think the speed matters less than being able to clearly articulate. And what I always say to people, and you guys, if you could remember this, when you're talking to people, imagine yourself talking to the people all the way in the back. Even if you're at a microphone, you don't have to yell, but you see kind of how I'm projecting my voice? My voice is kind of going across the room because I'm talking out. I'm not talking down or mumbling. I'm talking out so everybody could hear me. And that's what I do when I teach my classes. I make sure I'm talking to the person in the corner of the room that's further away. And I think it's going to be challenging too if you guys have to talk at events where you're wearing masks. And I don't know what's going to happen.
I'll say.
Oh,
really,
man, that's tricky. That's very tricky because I'm I didn't say to this, you guys, but my school is gonna start like in the 4th day, not of this month, but the next month. When this month is over, it's gonna start on the 4th of next month.
Wow, that's early.
August.
Yeah, and you're not gonna believe this, guys. They're all gonna wear masks, so it's gonna be tricky because every they're gonna like, now my friends will be wearing masks. So how are you gonna see the other person if they're like, if you only, some people will be wearing those kind of plastic masks or something like that, like some kind of shield. They're easier because you could see the person's face.
We're gonna have to do
But with the mask that you put like that or a bandana, you cannot see you only could see their eyes. You cannot see their mouth, their reactions.
Yeah, that is going to be really hard. I think it's going to be hard for all of us. So we're going to use our voices and how, like our voice intonations, how we're saying things. Like people aren't going to be able to see my smile when I'm teaching, so I'm going to have to let them know. And I'll probably say, I'm smiling.
Yeah.
No, I'm smiling. But they'll hear it hopefully in our voices, right?
I smile with my eyes. When I go like this,
yeah.
I smile with my eyes at the same time.
We're going to have to do.
It's not easy.
I think Megan had a question next, and then we'll wrap up with Chris. So go ahead, Megan.
So Jennifer, I've been on TV before, and I'm really social. So I've been on TV, not too many, but a couple of times.
And was it hard?
I was on Embassy 30 one time.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's really, really awesome. I hope you saved the clip. That's super cool. It's super cool. Yeah. How'd you feel on TV? Like,
I feel good. Talk about myself, not my job. I think just about Special Olympics.
That's fantastic. And that's what we want to do with our elevator speeches. And look, you made it on the news. You're way ahead. You know? That's awesome. Congratulations. That's awesome.
That's 61 as well for the Fall Festival Classic.
Oh, awesome.
All right, Chris. Oh, go ahead, Jennifer. What was that?
I said, I hope you save all these clips.
We tried it. All right, why don't you give us the last question of the day, and then if anybody else has questions, you can email them to me. We'll try to get them answered for you, okay? Go ahead, Chris.
I do have a question because my question, if I'm very interested in politics and I'm trying to get a job, do I need to like have a speech or something?
Yeah, you know what? You can use the Special Olympics speech, and then if you want, I mean, I could send out another like a job search elevator speech. I can share that with you too. I'm happy to do that. So if you want to see that, I can send that to Deb as well. That would really help too, because that'll help you applying. If you want to work in politics. You can explain your experience of what you've done that would work in whatever type of, politics you want to, what type of position you want to do. So yeah, I have good templates for that too.
Yeah, because my idea is, I know I'm a global messenger, but I'm representing more than everything because I go to Vista and everything. I mean, and me being a global ambassador, I came up with a name for myself. Ambassador for Special Olympics and my family and for the cause I'm going to.
Excellent.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. So I have more information and I also have videos. I think I have videos on regular elevator speech too. I have to dig those out. They're somewhere. But I also do it with my students too. So Deb, I can always share that with you too. When I do, I do a whole thing on job searches too.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
a long-
Fantastic.
yeah, it's a long webinar. So I didn't video the last one, I forgot. So, but we'll do it again in the fall, I'm sure. So you're welcome to join me for that. So I'll let Deb know as well. And Deb, you'll see it on my social media probably ahead of time.
Okay, thank
Appreciate that. Okay, I think we're going to wrap it up because we're coming up to the hour.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you. Yes, let's all give her a round of applause and say thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, Jen.
It was so great. You had so many
Thank you,
great
Jen. You did an awesome job.
Good
Thank
job.
you. I had a lot of fun. You had great questions, and I got to learn about some of your pets, which was really, really cool. So we're all pet lovers here, so that's great.
Thank
That's
you.
great.
Yeah.
All right, guys, if you have any questions, you have my email address and you can reach out to me. You have my phone number too. You can call me too. I'm always around. And I'm happy to talk about your elevator speeches because as you know, I've been doing work with Special Olympics for 10 years now and it's near and dear to my heart. So, I'm ready to help at any time. Okay. So, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of you on the news and on social media. So, and I'll know what your elevator speeches. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
Stay cool the rest of the day. Hopefully there's
Norm, like my speech coaches.
Deb?
Yep, I'll stay on for anybody that has additional questions regarding Special Olympics.
Jennifer.
Will,
Bye,
thank you for
Debbie.
I do.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Everybody.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. Have a
Yeah,
great day.
thanks, Jen.
Bye.
Jennifer.
Thank you all for being here today.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Wish me good luck when I go back to school, guys.
Good
I'm
luck.
gonna need it. I'm gonna need it because I'm really gonna miss my old. So, guys, see you next time.
Okay, Carla.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Bye, Carla.
Bye.
Thank you.